Welcome everyone, hope you're well. Hope everyone is doing good. Just watching treasuries at the moment, see what's happening. We're pretty much, we're not exactly doing very much right now. The range is pretty much capped. I just had myself up in the stream there, which you probably heard. Um, so, how's everyone's day been? What's been happening? Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We should do a mic check and all that good stuff. If you can let me know how up to date it is, because we changed the latency. So let me know how the video quality is, and if it's more live as such. So we will start with treasuries. We'll see if anything's going to happen. It's super unlikely. We're at POC across the board. Um, the 10-year is going to be capped at 14.5 down to absolute maximum nines. Um, we're going to need to see some size into the 30-year to take out this, but the bid and offer is pretty thick on the 30-year at the moment. So I can't really see us doing too much. We'll wait for some others to join. But it'll be interesting to see the stream, how the latency is different, to see if it's more real time. Okay, so we've seen that price taken down and then 3k still remaining. Want to see the price has not been able to crack tens. It's been down here twice and ticked off it back up to the POC. The 5-year does have some room because these orders can easily be pulled. But in essence, the range is just capped at the minute. I think what we'll do is we will jump into we will jump into indices and see what's going on. Oh wow, I literally got out of the low earlier. That's crazy. I had a short on I shorted the break of here and I got out here. It was for like 10 ticks earlier, then we've literally just reversed. Let me know how you guys are doing. How's everyone's trading been with NFP? Did everyone make money? Or was it a rough session? We'll see if we can get a nice fade back into value for the session today. Seems most likely. So you guys will need to let me know what the feedback's like, how it's looking, how's the picture quality, has anything changed at all? Hey Tonya, how's it going? You traded oil, made 50 buckaroos. See if shorts are still in play for power. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We'll see how the market finishes off. I still think we're this is the most classic NFP. You know, I'd said yesterday that the market will go one way and then it will revert back. This is like just textbook NFP. The reason being is the first numbers that come out for the NFP reports in like 4 to 8 weeks time, they're revised and they're never anywhere near accurate what they are. So it's just used as a way to whipsaw, especially in indices. Treasuries didn't. Treasuries just absolutely dumped and then consolidated around. Um, but indices have just, NFP come out. We then went bid, went back up, back into the range. Now we're doing so, up at the highs. Yeah, it's pretty slow the market at the moment, isn't it? How many seconds are you guys behind? Is it like 5 at the minute? I'm hoping you're pretty close, to be honest, because I didn't realize you guys were like 30 seconds behind me. 30 seconds behind is a lot in the market, especially when you're watching the DOM. Okay, this will be the third hit of the high if we can get up here. Slightly positive on the day for Delta. What trades did you take today, Barbarian? Mm-mm-mm. Okay, NQ is the one that's lagging at the minute. Key important level, I think we're definitely going to sweep here. See how the market reacts when we get to the 83 and a quarter, 84s if we do sweep. So some size should come in here and definitely hit the highs. It's not going to cost them very much to do that. Then we'll see if they flip up here for the ride back into value. There's not really any more data. The consumer credit came out and did absolutely nothing. So yeah, pretty slow. Hopefully we can finish the session, but you guys know what it's like on a Friday. You know, it's normally going to be pretty slow. I think it's going to be one of two ways. I think we're going to break here. You know, potentially go bid. I can't really see that happening though. I mean, are we going to end Friday in a massive spike? Meh, seems quite unlikely to be honest. I would like to see a nice deep stop run of the highs here, and then we fade back down into like 68, 70s. So really good point, Barbarian. I tried to look into that with Sierra to put the time on the DOMs, but it puts my time, so I can't put. I'll need to look into it to see if I can put like a US time or something here, because that would be pretty helpful for everyone, wouldn't it? There we go. There's the sweep. Let's see how it reacts when it gets to 84s. NQ's not yet taking the highs, but we are seeing the Russell and the Dow ticking up. Here we go. Okay, so these orders have been filled. Let's see if they're going to flip, or they're going to continue to go bid. We have the initial balance high coming up as well. Okay, now is the time where you want to see them pull orders. It's a good time to go to sell right now. Essentially, they're pulling orders. You don't really want to see probably 87s be taken out if this is to be the continuation to the downside, or at least a correction. We're going to clear this. We may also need to wait though, if this is to go down, need to wait for NQ to sweep because it's just hitting the highs now. But key point, they're going to need to fill out this area up here, and then we'll potentially see the sweep back down. We could always just go ridiculously bid, but it seems relatively unlikely. This is nice. With 10 seconds, sweep. Okay, 84s needs to crack. Yeah, Neil, I would put yourself on sim, buddy. Put yourself on sim. If you're in profit, if you're in profit for today, mate. After absolutely nailing the buy and sell button, put yourself in sim right now. Uh, this is a good setup, especially after this here planted the 400. This is the trade, and then just the bids pulled. You want to see them continually hit into the bids after the nice sweep, and then if you wanted to be super greedy, you could be targeting 76s. Hey, Mr. Hong, how's it going? So we'll see how this plays out, but the general consensus of what I'm expecting to happen is, we'll sweep the highs, take the liquidity that we've done here, they've flipped, and then hitting into the bid, and then we end up somewhere around the 68, 70s. I'm saying that, I don't know why I didn't take that trade, to be honest. C'est la vie. I would say this type of setup is just with experience, where Friday this time, no data coming out, seems relatively unlikely that we're going to go and smash the highs, to be honest. Typically, the market, when it's already done, it's sweep to the low, sweep to the high, revert. There's already sellers looking to get involved, and then we've just done this. So if you took your short up here, you're already done. If the market does go back up here, maybe take another play at it, but it'd be less likely. That was the setup right there. And you notice there's not really any selling here. Do you know? Like this is a classic, just I'm going to call it manipulation, but it's not really what I'm meaning. So in essence, they've held the market bid. Okay, they've then lifted into the offer with some size to get there, right? They've then got out of their positions up here, whoever was holding the market. And the market to get down here is not really, nothing is traded. I mean, look, you've had 49 executed, 72, 51, 68, you know? Whereas up at these levels, you had 352 absorbed, 292, you know? So in order for the market to get down to here, they've just pulled the bids. So that's like one of the key characteristics you want to see when you've seen absorption and then they're hitting into the bid. And this is what I've been saying the whole time: is it's likely the same firm um, that has been holding the market. They get out their positions, then they flip, and then they just pull their bids, and then before you know it, you're down because there's really no selling here, to be honest. Well, this is the thing, Neil. Were you massively down on the day? What was the trigger? What triggered you? Did you start with a loss? Did you have a green day and then you lost? I mean, what was the reason, do you think? Did you start averaging into position? Did you size up? I mean, what was the reasoning? You know yourself. You need to try and identify what put you on tilt. Was it losing a few in a row? Um, we all have that behavior. I've done that for years, man. Where you just have a day where you just start nailing the mouse. Everyone does, but you either need to put on your hard limits and go through all your good days and look at like what's your average max adverse excursion for when you're taking your positions. And say for example, I don't know, it's just say 7 8 ticks. If you're taking trades and you're 8 ticks off, another 8 ticks off, you need to just walk away, or you need to set hard stops, or phone your broker. You know, phone your broker and say to them, if I have three losing trades in a row or whatever, you need to use your journal to your advantage. You know, things like from your journal, your stats, you know that if you lose three trades in a row, you're just not in the zone. So phone your broker and say, look, if I lose three trades in a row or I lose a certain amount, don't allow me to trade anymore for a day or something. Everything made in a day was lost and one loser because I want to make it for loss. So this is the thing. You seem. I'm going to do a video about this at some point. I think it would be better if we did it as a live stream. But it seems like today that you were really focused on the next trade, right? You need to start taking a step back, right? And think about it in terms of like a month or the next 100 trades at least. You know, the next trade should not make or break your trading accounts. Uh, same way as no winning day or no losing day should no winning day should make you extremely rich, and no losing day should take you out of the market. So if you start viewing it in terms of the next 100 trades, one losing trade is nothing. Three losing trades is nothing. One losing day is nothing. And by any chance, when you trade, do you use ticks or points, or do you focus on currency? Like, do you have your P&L up? That was a nice reversal there. Notice how they're no longer really pulling the bids as such. There's just a little bit more two-way here. What platform are you with, Neil? Well, that's the thing. I firmly believe that before you click the buy or sell button, right, you need to look at the DOM or confluence in the chart and need to think, right, if I'm wrong here, whereabouts should I be getting out? You know, and put your have your brackets in place so that when you enter, um, you automatically have a stop and take profit. Because I've heard a lot of people say things like, enter and exit by hand, it's great, you keep your winners and, let them run and stuff. I don't know about you, man, but if I'm having a bad day, you know, and I have to manually close a trade to get myself out, there's a higher likelihood that I'm just gonna say, fuck it. I'm not closing that. So you need to think about, if you've got a tendency, man, seriously, if you've got a tendency to just go gung ho, nail buttons, you need to start like be aware, because I have that tendency as well, you know. So when I found out I had that tendency years ago, I said to myself, right, how much am I willing to lose a day? What's my max amount? Because if I get anywhere near that, I shouldn't be trading. So I put that in place either with my broker directly, or if it's with a firm, prop firm, I set them manually on whatever platform it is. Um, and I always make sure that I've got a target and stop in place, because I have had a tendency prior, probably like everyone, just to move your stop. You have a bracket, but then of course you move the bracket. It's always the same. To question Hong. Um, so on the 10 year, on the 10 year and the 30-year bond, my hard stop is 5. That's my absolute hard stop. I try not to take 5. I'll try and typically be out for 3. But to be honest with you, um, if you're on the wrong side of a trade on treasuries, it's hard to get out. So you need to have a stop. Like if the market's moving and you're on the wrong side of the trade, sometimes it's hard to get out. So you just need to bear that in mind. But somewhere between 3 to 5 ticks. Home. Yeah, well, I think, to be honest, I move my TP quite often, actually, depending on how the flow is going. I have a hotkey where I can just hover over the price and press Control V, and it basically moves my TP to wherever I'm hovering. Did you have a bad day yesterday, Hung? Yeah, yesterday was hard because treasuries, in my opinion, pretty much any, well, not only treasuries, but indices is pretty much the same as well. The day before you have NFP, the market's on average, the market is just not going to do anything. There's not going to be any follow through. And the reason being is no one really knows where the market is going. So why would anyone be basically printing huge numbers uh, in positions when NFP is coming out tomorrow? So when you've got that in treasuries and indices, for example, I mean, this was yesterday's regular trading hours. It's literally the most perfect bell curve in, textbook stuff. It's went up here. If we put this up, this was the first hour of the day. We then broke lower, reverted back to the mean, consolidated around right before the NFP data. And then if we look at today, all it did prior to that was really rope around here. And then when the market came out, if we look at before the NFP came out, we were still within yesterday's value and hadn't really moved. So the market just goes from high to low just to gain some momentum. So typically, when big data points are coming out, I would be looking more likely to fade reversals as such, rather than going for follow through. Mm-hmm. Hello, Bond. Yeah, exactly. Now, I say this all the time to be honest, but I suppose that I need to understand that I'm not here to trade, we're here to discuss markets. Like, this was a great setup, you know, right back into value. I could still see it's finishing in the sort of, 68, 70s today. Just because of the numbers. The numbers come out pretty negative, then we've just reversed back, now taking the stops. The bid was pulled to get down here, you know. We're going to struggle here to break 75.5 with this 160 order sitting. How's it going, buddy? Nice of you to join us. If you guys haven't yet liked the stream, if you could do so, it would be much appreciated. But yeah, we'll see what volume comes in the next couple hours. Oh, really? I'm on Denali as well, and I never have any real delay, if I'm honest with you, Hong. I don't know if you were trading treasuries then. The reason why I'm watching indices bond rather than the treasuries is because treasuries not doing anything at the moment, and you guys would be bored to tears. We can go to treasuries, but if we look, the market's not moved. We were sitting here about 20 minutes ago. We're pretty much going to range between 13s to probably 22s max. I can't really see us cracking the lows at this time. To be honest with you, I think the range is pretty much set for treasuries, so it's going to be pretty boring. So that was why I switched to indices for ladders for everyone, just to get a little bit more excitement. To be honest. No, not well. I sometimes bring it up, man. Ultras. I tend to use more audio order flow for the ultra. Um, just being I use it sometimes just to gauge, maybe as a leader in the market for the Ultra, but 30 years good enough. Yeah, I mean we could probably do treasuries at open at some stage. Yeah. Did you guys catch there's a huge sweep on the 10-year quite early on. It was in pre-market, and I was thinking that we'd maybe dump a little bit, but there was a sweep of the 10-year at the lows, and then I had to basically cut out for a few ticks. I thought we would have probably went down to yesterday's value area low for volume profile, but we just missed it, and then consolidated around. I don't know if you guys caught the ridiculous. I was watching. I didn't have any trades on NFP, obviously, but I was watching the DOM as it came out, and if I jump over to it quickly, this was not even seen in the DOM. This the news came out, and it literally just blasted right up, like blink of an eye stuff, and then the next thing we were way down here. So the book was so thin. So I take it you trade treasuries, bond. I'm assuming your second name is not Bond. You. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you maybe you maybe trade the ultra bond or the 30-year bond by any chance. It'd be interesting to find anyone that trades the 5-year or the 2-year. I've not really met anyone that trades the 5-year, to be honest. Oh, yeah, I quite like it, buddy. Good. What what happened, Hong? Because the reason why I'm asking is I never have an issue with Denali, so I'm a little bit concerned. Uh, just because I never have an issue. Maybe I'm just fortunate. So what do you have four DOMs up, Bond? Would you have up the 5, 10, 30 and the Ultra, or do you just have the Ultra up, or what? What's the deal? Okay, nice. And do you mainly execute on do you mainly execute on the Ultra and use the others for correlation? Nice. Yeah, I have the same Hong. I have the 5, 10s and the 30. Okay. Mm, it's good to find some treasure traders, to be honest, because they're kind of rare. Mm. Yeah, they do. That's a good point. How do you find the TN to trade? Never executed in that. But UB is like the it's like the NQ of treasuries. What platform do you use? Do you use Jigsaw? Let's see if we can work our way back to POC. You use something that's not out for public use yet. To be honest with you, Hong, they all tend to move together. Unless there's some spread plays that happen, they tend to be pretty. There's a real positive correlation between them. It's trying to decipher which part of the curve is moving first. Trader. Hmm. How is it? Is it similar to Sierra or Jigsaw or whatever, or is it good? Nice. So how do you guys feel the stream is now that I've reduced the latency? Is there any difference apart from just that there's not such a delay? And is it better? Let's dial in, Neil. I've too busy been chatting. I did anyone catch there was a glorious spoof on the 10 year. There was a five. It was maybe about 30 minutes or so ago, give or take. There was a 5k, one order 5k. The market ticked down a few ticks and then it was pulled. I don't know if anyone clocked it. It's a cracker. Hey, Callie. So, for the current day, I use the evening session as well, or the overnight session. But after the day has gone, I only have the regular trading hours. So I like to see where the high and low is for the overnight session, pretty much. But then when it goes like to Monday, for example, it'll just be the regular trading hours. Like this is just yesterday's regular trading hours on Thursday, and this is Wednesday's regular trading hours. Just for the current day, I think the overnight high and low is pretty relevant. A good question. So Neil, how much better are we talking here? Like, are you guys now like 10 seconds behind instead of 30? I'll need to have a look and see because I I don't really know if I can make it any quicker. I don't think I can make it exactly live. There's always going to be a kind of buffering between um you know me uploading to YouTube, YouTube displaying it to you, that type of thing. Internet speeds. I mean, if you know any other way to do it, then great. Or maybe 10. Is the bit rate anything to do with that, Neil? because I've got it on ultra low latency. I don't think there's any, like I read up on that and it basically said that's the YouTube suggested that's the most interactive one. Neil, if you sent that in the stream last night, I the link I don't think links post. So if you could message me on Discord with it or something, that'd be great. Or if you have, I'm sorry I've not seen it. If you've done it on Discord, but if you could ping it to me, that's great. So I can watch it, buddy. That would be great. Okay, let me see. So my time is right now 53:10. I'm in the UK, bear in mind, so I'm probably what 4 or 5 hours ahead of some of you guys. Perfect. I appreciate that, man. Okay, shame we're not going back in. Let's see if we can. I can't really see too much happening here. I think the days. We'll see if we can get anything going in Power Hour. Is any? Did anyone? If Tonya is still here, how is the how's oil been? Because I know there was some data points that come out for oil. Has it been pretty crazy today? I've not really watched commodities this week at all. Okay. I don't know if so. I've watched. I think maybe the best you can get it down to is like 5 seconds. I don't think. I think that's just going to be latency with like upload speed to YouTube and different things. I don't think you can get it probably better than 5. I think 10 seconds is pretty good going, to be honest. But is the picture quality is good? I mean, it's not suffered or anything, has it? Mm-mm-mm. Cool, Neil. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, streaming through OBS. The settings are all set for low latency, and I'll maybe need to look at the bit rate, but I didn't really want to mess with that because it would hurt the quality of the stream, and I don't really want to break it if it's not broken, or touch it if it's not broken. Yeah, good. And are you guys all watching on a laptop or desktop, or do you tend to watch on your phone? That would be interesting. How many of you are watching on your phone versus your like desktop or PC or whatever? Okay, we've rejected here. We're now still back in value. Let's see if we can at least punch back down. Oh, TV. Nice. Classic Neil. AO's on the PC. Good man. Yeah, I think it would be quite hard to watch on the mobile, to be honest. Like you need to zoom in, wouldn't you? It's kind of hard to watch 4 DOMs in the mobile. Nice. Yeah, I like it. I really thought the only time I would be on the TV was interference, to be honest. Uh, I've lost the plot. Nice. So that's good. So it's good that you guys can effectively see decent enough quality. We're now 10 seconds behind, but it's better than 30 like the other day. So we'll continue this, and we'll maybe see if we can try and get it down to 5. I think probably the best we'll maybe get it to is 5. I can't imagine it being live, to be honest, because there's going to be some buffering speed in there, isn't there? Okay, we're trying. Let's see if we can crack above this little mini range here. We need to break above 81s. See if we're going to do it. Or not, the whole market just ticked down there. If you're new to the stream, if you could consider subscribing. If you're lurking, say hello. Introduce yourself to the lovely people that we have in the chat. They don't bite. At least I don't think they do. That's crazy. I'm going to be honest, Neil. Don't even know who that is. I know some people were. That's not that crazy. No. Have you ever seen that like compilation video where people just do their arson and trades, and it's like some wolf that's massively over leveraged in Apple or something? It's not that, is it? No. I maybe should check that out. I feel like I'm misinformed. Guy with the headband. Hmm. I should know what this is, shouldn't I? To be honest with you, I typically tend to keep myself in my own lane a lot of the time. But is he like a famous dude or something? Or does he specifically trade equities or something? Oh wow, we're dumping here. Okay, nice push back into value. Wow. There we go. There is the sellers showing some intent. And I think that's pretty much all she wrote now for the market. Now we're back in value. I think we're just going to chop around the POC now. So is he like a Wall Street Bets guy or something that just went all in? Ah, right. I think I've heard of that guy. He's a Wall Street Bets dude, isn't he? Like one of the guys. Is that the guy that basically just told everyone to buy GameStop and then like basically pumped it and then just disappeared into the abyss? Because that's a great idea. Basically make up some nonsense about a company's books, really. Um, and then because realistically, GameStop, all like every country has their equivalent of a GameStop, and realistically, in the next 5 to 10 years, probably even 5, these companies are not going to be in business, just simply because Steam and even like PlayStation and Xbox are buying all these games through the computers now. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't see how these companies have a business model anymore. Considering you can buy them on Amazon and stuff as well, it's Everything's going digital. It's basically the same reason why Blockbuster went under, because everyone would watch movies online versus going to a Blockbuster. It's the same setup for GameStop or whatever. Yeah, I mean, let's be serious, right? If you build up enough following, right, and then you can manipulate. I mean, look at all the amount of crypto scams. It's no different. Where a big influencer or famous dudes or someone with a bit of clout and following says, "I recommend that you buy X crypto or X stock or whatever," and obviously, of course, they've already filled their bags before they do that. So then you just pump it out and then just using the liquidity, you know. That was I mean, that's basically boiler room 101. I don't see how that's any different between what's happening on subreddit to Wolf of Wall Street to back in the 80s and 90s when people were doing that. You had these basically pump and dump stocks. I don't see how that's any different. It's just same with a different mask on it, right? God, the bid has really been pulled, isn't it? I don't know. Trading an index is hard enough, rather than just picking a random stock. Jeez, oh, this is dumping. The big six must be getting hit hard at the moment. We'll definitely need to do a session about tick strike. Yeah, I think we could. I think we could, Tonya. We could potentially see a sweep here, but this was the play. When you have NFP days and the market's been imbalanced, this was the mean reversion back to value, but anything is happening now. We could chop around here, we could sweep here. I think getting down here is a little bit unlikely, but there's nothing that moves quicker than a dumping market, that's for sure. If they just pull the bids and some sellers get aggressive, this thing could drop pretty quickly, but I think it's pretty unlikely about 2 hours before close. Do you know, it's always the same. Um, when mainstream start to mention the word Bitcoin, it's time to sell. And I had friends that were never involved in anything. This is really dumping. I have friends that were never involved in any form of equities or trading at all, and they were asking me things like, "Oh, what do you think about GameStop? I've bought it through like my bank and stuff." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" First thing, they charge you exorbitant commissions, and it's not leveraged, so you can't really make anything unless you're putting in an absolute fortune. You need to be trading these things in options or at least with a little bit of leverage so that you're not risking tons. Because buying and holding GameStop is just not the play. And also as well, I feel that with actual individual equities, there's so many of them, right? I mean, where do you start? Do you go for low caps, mid caps? You know, you go for the big blue chip numbers. Then you need to have like software scanners, and you need to input what you're looking for. You go for gap and goes. You can fade gaps. You know, you pretty much need to have a watch list. There's a lot more preparation that goes into that. You maybe need to whittle your watch list down to like your best five, and then you watch them for the day. You know, it's a different idea, and obviously, especially from the US as well, you've got like a day trading rule as well. Which I suppose why so many people have went to options, right? Jeez, oh, this is. They can crack here. They need to. 16 and a half can go. Someone's holding. I know, Hong. The treasuries hardly move. That's why they're appealing, man. Like, see, like this time in treasuries at like, from 2 p.m. treasuries, like the range is capped. That was why I switched to the indices because you guys wouldn't be on the stream. You would be like, "What are we doing here?" You'd be bored out your marbles. All right, let's see if we can break here. They seem to be. Oh wow! They just hammered it. Jeez, oh, this is a dump and a half. Okay, so 440 to absorb. Let's see, they're going to hold it here. So they are. They're trying. Buyers are trying. Looks quite unlikely though. There's a lot of selling pressure coming in at the moment. Jeez, man, buyers are really trying hard here. It's 1,000 contracts absorbed in two prices. So yeah, literally one firm has held it up here. Let's see, are they going to continue? Oh, it's hitting again. This is going. Yeah. Okay, Tanya's spot on here. We have the first sweep of this level. Technically not the low of the regular trading hours, but my gosh, what a dump. Realistically, I said this would happen, right? But let's be serious. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not shorting that here and then holding it down here. Like, if you have a crystal ball, you can maybe say this is going to happen, but usually this will chop around, go back, create a double top, and then come back down. It's not normally as clean as this. Wish it was. If it was, I would be carrying this stream out from the Bahamas. Which is definitely where we would have a meet and greet in the Bahamas. Bet you guys would love that, eh? We can egg FTX's office. What's not Hong, the indices right now or treasuries in general, or what are you meaning? I mean, to be honest, the reason being why this dumps is you have people for some reason, they're thinking that this is going to moon on a Friday at this time. All these people here that had bought, we were in positive delta territory up here, and then this has just been a long covering, to be honest. So you've just had liquidations of longs, and then you'll probably sweep here or something, and then go back into the POC and trade this out to the close. However, if carnage is to happen, we could go down here, which would be really entertaining, you know, if we could get down to this level. Seems doubtful, but yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we are this overall though, this is out of value for the month, for the previous month, so we are just correcting back into value at the moment. I've been calling this for this week, to be honest, where we're cracking above these levels and correcting back into value. again, just the stock market, it just doesn't make any sense to me why we're absolutely smashing highs at the moment. There's got to be a correction at some point, right? It's basically a mania of buying. Sorry, Neil, are you meaning like to get down here, or this move already, or are you meaning for price to get down here? Here we go. There's the hit of that level. Let's see if we can sweep. My reasoning, Neil, for thinking we could go down here is simply if we do decide to hit this level and then aggressively sell into it, because sellers are not really well, they are being aggressive, but there's still a lot more that can happen. And then if you do aggressively hit this level, there's then got basically just long liquidations are going to happen. This is the last chance saloon for longs down here. You know, the next point they're maybe going to try and buy is here. So if we do crack this level with some size, this is a pretty low traded area, so we should sweep through here pretty quickly, and before we know it, we're down here. But that's the aggressive side. The most likely side is we sort of sweep here and then go back into value, but everything is ticking down right now at the moment. So, you know, all indices are down right now, which gives a little bit more credence to that. So if we continue to hit this and we break, you know, probably 52s, we should see a quick downside to 48s. And it's obviously correlations are in play at the moment. Yeah, well, we've still got all the volume to come in the next like 2 hours, so it could be carnage. So if we hit break 52s and some size comes in, you're going to have a lot of long liquidations now. If they continue on, let's recenter. So we should hit this level pretty quickly with size. See if we can do it. See, NQ is the one that's bidding up there. Buyers are trying to then hold. So the aggressive one was to go all the way down here, but the most likely side of things is we now go back into here, which is now happening. I agree that this is a super aggressive move. And then now you have the other side of the coin where anyone that's sold here and it bids back up quickly, they need to try and liquidate, and before you know it, we're back in here. So sellers need to try and hold here. Let me know if anyone's getting our questions. Okay, so we've held the sort of breakout. Let's see if we can continue down. There is a little bit positive delta coming in. I'm just going to post this for anyone that wants to support the channel. Helps out the channel a ton. Okay, it's about a two-way at the moment. NQ is now back in value. Let's see how we can behave. So market needs to break and hold above 56s. Let's draw a line here and get rid of these. So we still have the next hour or so can be relatively aggressive with volume, as you guys know. We're now negative on the day for Delta. Said the market needs to break and hold above 56s to reclaim. And they are trying. NQs saying, guys, I'm ready. Wow. It's just been pulled. It's a decent amount of size been trading here. Is anyone watching treasuries at the moment? Have we moved to like 3 ticks? Here we go. Buyers are reclaiming. Now if they get a wee bit further, shorts are going to have to start covering. Yep. There we go. Yep, as soon as they reclaimed that, now the shorts cover, which is a little blip that we saw here, and now we're now back in the range. No more painful downside. Boo. Yeah. So look at NQ. NQ is just ripped there. It was down pretty much in value, but it was the one that was slightly leading though. It went up about 20 points. So, what does everyone think? Do you think we'll just finish in this range now for the rest of the session, or do you think we've got legs to hit the high and low now? What do we think? Yeah, I think so too, buddy. I think it will range out as well. But you never know. A few of the big sets can dump off. But the most likely scenario is we just trade out this sort of volume up here now. We are back at POC for the regular trading hours. No problem, Mr. Hong. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. You have a good weekend. Is anyone else still trading? Or are they done? How did everyone have? Did they have a positive week, break even, down week? Mostly did you journal your trades? Break even? Yeah, I think I was slightly up this week. Nothing to write home about though. Still need to review today's trades, which I'll do. I'll probably do this evening or tomorrow morning. Yeah, no problem, Neil. That's good. If we see anything sweet, that's break of 60. The break of 56s was a nice bid. Yeah, you probably could have had like 5-6 tick stop there. I think Russell is probably going to go up and then revert back to this POC. It's sticking out like a sore thumb. About 27. Yeah, but pretty much everything is now at POC apart from the Dow. How far away is the Dow? Not too far. See if they can crack here. 63 and a quarter. It's next level. It's the previous day's close and initial balance. Does anyone trade NQ in here, like exclusively? What products do you guys mainly trade? Is it ES and treasuries? There we go, we've just cracked that. Let's see if we can continue on. It's been actually quite good action the last couple of hours. You know, it's been pretty clean. It's not been not been dragging, which is good, especially for Friday. Okay, so the question is, how high are we going to go before we revert? It's definitely the question. If there's anyone new to the stream, there's some links in the description where you can learn how to read the DOM if you're not yet that familiar with it, and you can customize if you're using Sierra. There's a video on how to set up the DOM like you see in the video. But I think majority of the people in the chat are with Jigsaw or Sierra. I think Mr. Bond is using a newer platform. But yeah, we're currently just at this higher volume node here. So we'll see. POC's just essentially changed too. So we're right bang in it. How many of you in here are trading your personal accounts and prop, or vice versa? And if so, what brokers do you use versus what prop firms? I suppose it would depend on where you guys are based, but okay, we're currently just trying to break previous day close initial balance high. So we're now getting back into this level. So used to trade with AMP, but then jumped in bandwagon prop firms, took the money I was making from trading live and put it into accounts with Apex. Oh, nice. So do you copy trade or anything, Neil, with Apex? And what accounts did you go for? Did you go for like one big one, or did you go with like 3 or 4 small ones, or how did you go about it? So right now back at POC. I would say it's probably good to you can do both. To be honest with you, I don't know what platform you're using. I don't know if you can have multiple instances running, but you can have one running with prop and one running with your personal account. Nice, good goal, buddy. And what account size did you go for with them? Did you go for? The most popular one seems to be 50Ks across the board, from what I've heard people say. The only thing that's off-putting about, I think when you're scalping, to be honest, the trailing drawdown is not really a problem. But I just don't really like the setup with Apex, how they continuously just change the rules. It's never a great sign that, um, or a good way to do business, that in the middle of the month you you put out new rules and then deny people a payout because of rules you've just implemented. You know, surely the most likely thing that they should have done was honor that month and then put it in place the next month. It just screams. My opinion, you need to take as much money off these companies as you can because they're not going to be there forever. And certainly, don't hold a huge balance with them. That's for sure. Because these dudes could be gone tomorrow. Seriously. And it's even more so with Apex that don't promote any form of. Oh, we're just offer has just been pulled at the moment. Um, they don't even put people into live. I know they say they do, but they're simply making money off of people that lose, which for all intents and purposes is a Ponzi scheme, right? It's the makings of that. You're literally requiring more and more people to come in to basically pay the good traders, and eventually, if no new people come in and all you're left with is good traders and you can't pay them, do you know what I mean? Because the ones that do well at Apex are absolutely obliterating them. You know, I don't know. It's just my thoughts on the setup. Yo, how's it going? Yeah, I would probably say top. I mean, Top Step is. I wouldn't. I would say Top Step is slightly more friendly than Apex. Um, but realistically, none of them really want you to do well. You know, Top Step's got one of the most pathetic live programs I think I've ever seen. Hey, you can go live, but we'll take some money off you and you'll need to pay more money. They don't even cover. Think about that. How crazy is that? You're under their banner trading for them, and they don't even cover your data fees. Crazy. Is there actually any firms that properly back traders? Because like an actual prop shop where they educate you, with a proper outlook to try and bring in profitable traders, and they're not just there to. I mean, Apex are giving away evaluations like they're Smarties. I mean, they're giving evaluations away for like $15 and stuff. I mean, clearly they must know that the evaluation pass rate on those accounts is literally so low. And it always worries me when the senior management, right? Because I run a tech company, right? Can you imagine the talks there? They must think, right, guys, we need to bring in revenue, right, to basically pay shit at the end of the month. Um, so let's carry out ridiculous. We need to get some money in. So let's hold these crazy um, promotions to get some money in. Do you know what I mean? Seems a bit wild to me. How can you give away accounts for like $16? I know that when you pass them, you then need to pay either activation fees and stuff. Yeah, the activation fee is. I suppose that's the way they catch you, right? So if you do pass, you get the activation fee, and especially as well where they make it so it's monthly, and you know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just a really shocking model, to be honest. There's not, and what's that company called? Apteros. I need to maybe look into them and see. I'm just curious to see what the, because you need to check. Um, you just need to check out these companies and see. Not that I'm ever going to start advocating prop firms. It would be nice to see one that is actually there to back traders and has a good outlook for them. Because there's another thing, if I'm honest with you, that I'm not a major. That Top Step have brought out their own platform, which is either it's a business move to reduce their own fees, but they're doing that many accounts that they should be just nailing Rhythmic to the wall. So I can't really see any benefit um, to having your own platform. I mean, it's not like anyone's going to go and use that out with using Top Step. And it's also a little bit weird that it's like a merged together data as well. It's not great. Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. What makes you say that, Neil? Well, the thing, my sort of opinion on it as well is I've been doing this for a long time, and the problem is the barrier to entry now is so low. And the fact the barrier to entry is that low. You've got people that are coming from forex who are trading on their phones. You know, not having a shot at anyone trades on their phone, but you've just got no chat. How is anyone trading on TradingView on their phone ever going to compete with a market making firm? It's just, there's just no chance. You've got as much chance of doing that and winning at day trading than you have just buying a lottery ticket or a scratch card. Same thing. And I suppose that's the reason. It's like when you open up to the mainstream, it sounds good. You've got influencers making it sound easy. You've got all these YouTube dudes that basically say, hey, here's a random two indicators. When this one goes up, this one goes down, and then it pops a buy on the screen. You click buy, and then you go to the beach with your laptop, and do you know what I mean? It's just nonsense. If anyone starts posting pictures of a Ferrari and a laptop on a beach while they're trading, delete it. Well, the thing is, I think OrderFlow. I used TradingView when I first started. Good platform just to chart around, but it's not that great for anything sophisticated, is it? Just good to draw lines and people to say, look, I took an entry here, and then have like a 10 to 1 risk to reward or something and put it on YouTube. It's a joke. Bond, is that one of the, what's that guy's name? I think I've saw an interview with that guy before. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone when they first starts trading, they start with like a MACD, you know, tons of moving averages. What's another good one? RSI. MACD, RSI, tons of moving averages. Really mechanical trading. When this crosses and this crosses, I do this. You've got no understanding what the market's actually doing. You don't really even know that market making firms exist. You don't know how the market ebbs and flows. You know, and even worse, people actually believe that that ICT draws boxes on charts and can call it an order block. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, it's bananas to think that some random dude like that has created an algorithm and can draw gaps on candles without knowing any of the volume that goes into those candles and say that that's where big firms got involved. I mean, that's what's wrong, and that's why the pass rate for these firms and just the fail rate is so high, because people do not want to they don't want to study and work things out themselves. They don't want to put in the screen time. It takes years to do this, and they just want to go on and someone tells them to draw this box and draw this rectangle, and price gets back at it, and it's within you know 9 and 11 a.m. US time, then you press the buy or sell button or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Ah, that's the guy. I've heard of him. Bond. I've heard of him. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing where I wanted this YouTube channel to be a place where um it's not really about me per se, right? It's about trying to teach people, just, this is not a game. This is not something that you can just, watch a 10-minute video on YouTube of some dude saying, here's a supply and demand zone, and draw a rectangle, and then you can, go to the beach or whatever. This is a serious occupation that you need to put time into. It's like any other profession. You've got dudes that are doing 50, 60 hours a week and are some of the smartest guys in finance and computing that are, working against you. And I mean, I won't even get started on that guy. You know, just ridiculous. What I don't understand as well is how like aggressive his followers are as well. I mean, they've really, it's like that guy created fire. You know, it's crazy. Crazy how that's the case. I mean, he's got, so the thing is about him now, if I'm honest with you, he's got that many different concepts, right? I don't know, I can't even begin to name them. Breaker, blocker, fair value gaps, order blocks, turtle soups, all these just complete and utter random made up names of things that happen on the charts, right? And pretty much because there's that many of them. You can say, oh well, the breaker blocker didn't work today, but the fair value gap did, or the silver bullet didn't work yesterday, but the turtle soup did. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't win. And then if you do your arse in when you take his concepts, it's just going to be, oh, you've not studied hard enough. You need to go back through my tons of other mentorships that I've done. Do you know what I mean? It's just absolute nonsense. Anyone that trades live like that or posts their stuff and it's got so much just mystery and fraud around them, you need to start questioning your shit, you know? Anyone anyone that's been involved in trading at a serious level uses some form of volume, because the market, that's all it is. It's just an auction. It's just buying and selling. Something is fair price, something is not. You know, I think if ICT had a brain, right, he would be adding in volume into that and then releasing. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next number of years he finds volume profile and then chucks in volume profile and then says, "Oh look, you know, now things are updated. Volume is really important, so we'll now add that into turtle soup." You know what I mean? But then realistically, it's just going to be absorption and then orders been pulled. It's ridiculous. When I first started trading, there was the craze when I started trading. It was beat the market maker method or something. Steve Morrow, don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. This was like 10 years ago. Um, and that was the craze. And then at the same time, ICT came out, and I feel that he basically rehashed a lot of that guy's terms. I don't know if they're even still around, but you know. You're kidding. Yeah, I watched that. Watched that. I felt it was a wee bit overdone, to be honest. I think he's calling out everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not having an absolute shot at that. The thing. So my outlook on trading, right, is whatever strategy you're utilizing, right. At the end of the day, it all comes down to numbers. How is your numbers in your journal? You know, you need to start figuring out what times of the day to make the most money, what days of the week, what months do you make the most money, you know, what about news reports? Do you do really well on, NFP days or not? All of it is just data at the end of the day, because you better believe that, as it's just as a random stat, you better believe that these large firms will know that there's an 80% probability on NFP PM that the market will revert back to the mean, just as an example, right? And then they just need to say where is the fair price for the X amount of indices and some equities underlying below it, like the big six, and then they'll fade it back in. You know, these are the types of stats that you need to be looking at, or at least be aware of and think of. And you're only going to do that by journaling and knowing your data, regardless if you're trading MACD, RSI, stochastics, moving average crossovers, whatever it is. You need to know the data behind it, and how you trade yourself. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I just used pivot points, ages ago. Kind of taking them off, to be honest with you, as I typically now focus on just the key levels on a chart now, such as initial balance, previous day high, overnight high, things along those lines. I actually have an algorithm running for indices that pretty much jots down. It's a mix between fair value, pivot levels, and fib levels, essentially, where the market's likely to reverse. So, but I don't take a trade off them on their own. Order flow has to confirm everything. But Neil, that's crazy. A guy called SEC for market manipulation. Jeez. Yeah, I saw that. I saw he went away. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I think one of the worst ones, if I'm honest with you, is ICT. To be honest, um, I just can't get my head around that in the slightest. We've seen quite a lot of absorption here at 70s, 500 contracts hitting it couldn't break. Well, I would say Pippa. I think OrderFlow is probably there as your friend to help confirm entries and exits. You know, the main general consensus is if you're using basic support and resistance, when price gets to a major support level, if say for example, the bid has been hit into aggressively into a support level, right? And then when it gets to that level, if the bid is pulled and sellers are still being aggressive, then you shouldn't be buying that support. You need to see absorption and then the offer being pulled. So very simply, it just helps confirm levels. Because if you're a critical thinker, and I'm assuming majority of you are, there must be a reason why certain support and resistance levels hold. There's a deeper level to why that happens. And the deeper level is order flow, is which firm is stepping in at that level with size to basically turn that into support. And it's more likely going to be key inflection points in the market. Things like the previous day high, previous week high, things like that. Yeah, I watched the one about the dude from Jigsaw. I've never really, I don't know what the deal with that was. I never really watched that one. I watched the one with ICT. Or most of his followers from Africa. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. I just find that when you talk to someone about ICT, it's pretty much ICT is a god. You don't understand how good his stuff is. You need to go and do his course. It's like a cult. I feel like they're about to sell me Herbalife or something. It's crazy. I don't know. Good luck to them, man. Honestly, I've met some ICT traders who've actually made money, but the realistic thing is, it's not ICT's concepts to make some money. It's them as a trader. It's how they execute, how they manage the trade. Can they sit in their hands? It's their own journal that they've mastered and worked out. It's nothing to do with drawing a box on a chart or whatever. Like seriously, that's why I don't really think it's that. It's really pointless for me. Maybe for some people, I need to decide if we're going to do that. But look at this 400 lot here. 67 is pulled. Sneaky bastards, honestly. Um, I need to decide if we're going to go down the strategy route because I quite believe that I'm here to try and assist with the concepts and how the market moves and what you need to look for rather and just the general concepts and context of a day, right? Rather than saying to you, when the market gets to this level, you draw a box, and then if you see some, I don't know, if you see some absorption into level, then you buy. It's not as clear cut as that. There's a lot of discretion that goes into trading and screen time, and you just need to spend the time doing that. Yeah, I would say, I mean, I, of course, in my past have looked into when Bookmap come out, and, I actually use a heat map at times as well. But realistically, it's all just I've tried things in the past that I've used footprints, I've used heat maps, and realistically, all of them are just a sort of easier way to display the depth of market. To be honest with you, this is the raw market, is what you're seeing. It's a DOM or ladder, whatever way you want to call it, right? Because I think with when it comes to discretion, you know, um, market profile for me, I don't really ever do the whole, like this is a bad high, it needs to go and repair it, or we're at the middle of the profile, so we should bounce, or whatever. The market's left excess. I mean, I probably pay attention to that slightly more, but it gives me an idea of where the market spent the most time and where the most volume has been carried out. And typically, when it gets to a certain time of the day, is there enough oomph left in the day in order for price to break one way and then come back? Where is the general volume be carried out for the previous day? You know, just these types of things I use it for. I don't specifically trade it in its own right. And if you watch that Jim Dalton dude, which I had watched this stuff years ago, the most painful webinars ever to watch because the guy's about 80. Nice enough dude and whatnot, but he's just obviously a massive advocate of market profile only. Don't get me wrong, market profile is a really good concept and I think it's great, but hard to just execute it on its own because all you're really doing is displaying it in a different format. But I think it's a fantastic tool to just to see where is balance. And I think as well, if you come from candlesticks and you go to market profile, I mean, I'll put this as a full screen, right? It's a very chilled out way to look at the market. Do you know? Like, it's not advertising as such with candlesticks. You can simply see right now that a bell curve is where the most time has been spent. So this is an accepted price today. If price gets down here, then what has changed in the market in order for price to get here? And typically, when there's no news or any data points that come out to basically put the market down here, then it's normally just been larger firms either hedging or putting in positions that they've probably had to take off their books or close off. So when the market gets too out of whack out of here at a specific time of day, then we'll ultimately be looking to go back into value. So it's just a slightly easier way. And this is the point of control for the last month. So, is it going to be likely with the data points that come out that we smash above the highs? ICT is just intended price and look. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you can. I think calling stuff. You need to be an absolute madman to look at something and call it a turtle soup. You might as well just draw random bananas on a chart, and it's ridiculous. Is it a good Discord or community using primarily OrderFlow? It's always about. Yeah, we've got a good Discord. Callie or Kaylee, hopefully I'm saying your name okay. But yeah, there's a Discord you can join. We chillax in there. We discuss order flow. Got some good content available in there for you. Any suggestion on any other indicator to pair with volume profile on TradingView? Market profile. I think they've yeah. See if you can get market profile and volume profile in the same chart on TradingView. I'm not really a fan of TradingView. It's good if I'm out and about and I'm on my phone or something and I can see where the market's at. But the charting software is it's not for order flow. Put it that way. But yeah, exactly, Neil. Discretion is 100% what the down is. Uh, it just takes time, you know. It's like any job, you just gain experience, doing it. Um, you take your lumps, and the number one thing that you eventually will get to when trading is you just get cool with having a shit day, you know. Like if you lose 400-500 bucks or whatever in a day, and you've lost that before, and it's within your average day, you're not wiping out tons of profits in one day. This is just part of the game. Shit happens. Tomorrow's a new day. You continue on. But yeah, like I liked watching the interviews with him, with Jim Dalton. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that PAX dude go on. I feel the PAX guy doesn't really talk much about strategy. He just goes on about how difficult life was, how different life was. Really cool guy to watch, man, because it's interesting to watch. I get a kick out of watching the previous pit traders rather than some dude on the show me a stupid indicator on YouTube or whatever. I want to know, because can you imagine how different that would be for those dudes who were trading? They literally could see the guy from Goldman Sachs who was about to sling, a couple of thousand lots in the market. So when he would literally walk up in the flesh and start flashing his hands, and he was starting to buy, you're going to cover and you're going to start buying it beside him. Do you know what I mean? Or if they're in pairs, you need to watch. Are they trying to do something wacky? Like he'll go up and flash the bid, and then he's his partner in crimes beside him is actually taking all the offers or something. Do you know what I mean? But that would be interesting. That's where I think your audio order flow is kind of similar, but completely different because now it's all done by algorithms and machines. But these types of guys are more entertaining to watch than the likes of ICT. I mean, how can anyone with a brain say that he literally said he created an algorithm, that guy? I mean, the guy probably doesn't even know what a line of code is. Yeah, I don't know why, but Al Brooks kind of is quite a soothing guy. I think it's the fact he's a doctor. I kind of feel like, if you have if you have a horrendous day, you go to him and he's this old dude. You know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people can like sit and write blogs and stuff like that. Or put pins in my eyes. Yeah, exactly, and that's another thing. Forex is probably the worst for that because you've got, people sell signals. I mean, see how the signals even work. I mean, by the time, say for example, right, I put in the Discord and say, right guys, buy at this price. By the time you see that, look at it, the market could be at the target. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Just not a thing. You probably start getting into that. That's when you're really green in the market. You need to learn your lumps first. Ah, yeah, explains it. Explains it. Quite a level-headed dude, but you're gonna. I mean, you shouldn't be jumping up and down when you're, I don't know, 70 or something. But yeah, just as well not getting ICT, traders in here. You know, I reckon if ICT added in some form of volume profile or depth of ladder into the execution, it would probably be a really good strategy. But the trouble is, I feel that when you first start in trading, like you come to order flow when you've probably been trading for a while, right? Um, I mean, just roughly, of everyone that's in the chat here, let me know how long have you guys been trading? Just roughly. Give me a number. Is it a couple of years, number of years, a couple of months? You know, what's the down? 2019, 3 years, 10 years. Right. 5 years. Yeah. So that was what I was thinking. So I didn't want to make an assumption, but my assumption is that when you come to this type of YouTube channel and order flow, you normally have been in the market for a while and you understand how the market at least somewhat ebbs and flows, and then you start realizing that, right, it's no longer about indicators. It's really no longer about this one crosses or a buy and sell or whatever. If something pops up in the chart or whatever the case is, you start realizing that the market actually moves in a way for a certain reason, you know, typically. And if you're new, say if you've only been doing this for a couple of months and you're in the channel, then great, because you're going to shorten your learning curve massively. I wasted so many years. I've been doing this now, this is my 10th year, and a long time, and I wasted a number of years at the start just doing random stupid shit, to be honest. Strategy hopping, doing all that stuff, and it wasn't until I actually just spent months looking at depth of market on its own and realized how the market moved, and then I start looking at key levels to do business, and learn to sit in my hands, that it really start to make a difference. But it takes a long time to do it. Nice. Nice, Goosey boy. But yeah, it's good. We've got some veterans in here, which is nice. Exactly. Exactly. Every single, every cross and every, random thing that does with indicators is, you're right, is driven by order flow. It's the only tool that gives you a literal second indication as to what's happening, you know. And I don't know about you, but if I bring up, um if I bring this up, okay, and I start to remove, like, let's hide volume profile, right, and then hide, what am I going to, like, hide this, and then, yeah, let's hide VWAP as well. I just want to show you this as an example, right? Hide this, and then we'll take away VWAP as well. Okay, so we've now pretty much just got a random chart, right? Now, people, I don't know what they would probably do. Do they start, you would probably do something like this, like, okay, here's a trend line, okay, um, and then just gonna chart this up. So we're now absolutely dumping. So clearly there's tons of bids been pulled right now, but we don't know that yet. So right now this is dropping, okay? I don't know. I don't really know what I've drawn here, guys. I'm just, I'm marking charts, okay? We've got some sort of crazy wedgie thing going on right now, okay? Now, the market is dropping right now. If you pretend delta's not here. In fact, let's take away delta as well, okay? Because we're not allowed that. Right. How do you not feel that this is a little bit naked right now? In terms of how is this moving? I've got no idea right now Why is it stopping here? Is there a large bid that stopped here, or is the offer been pulled? Is there size coming in right now? I mean, do you guys not feel that? Like right now, when you're just looking at candlesticks, you have got absolutely no idea how that market is actually moving right now. You don't know if it's fake because it's just the offer been pulled, or is there aggressive buying right now? Is someone reloading the bid and aggressively taking the next price? Do you know what I mean? Do you guys that trade order flow, do you not look at the market? And this is where I think ICT comes in, because if you, I don't know, this is a big candle, right? So this is a huge candle. There's some sort of weird gap here. So you would be, oh, that's the wrong thing. You would do this, I don't know, and say, okay, the market returns back up to here, and then you start selling a position or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand how that makes any sense. But this is oh, Axia is a good one. Yeah, they're the old Futex guys. But yeah, what do you guys think of my ranting there? So, do you guys not feel that the charts are a little bit naked when you don't, is it just me? Exactly, and that's the thing that you need to learn yourself. You know, you need to learn yourself, 100%. But yeah, I'm never really a one for drawing trend lines and channels or whatever the case is. I just don't get this shit off my chart. But I feel that just having this up, it gives me no idea. I don't know where's the most volume. I mean, you just don't know anything, to be honest. This is where when I think the market is. If you're looking at the market in this context, right? I don't know, you're seeing the market's broke a low, it's pulled back. You'd be thinking, okay, I don't know anything else. So I'm thinking, right, okay, this could go down and it's made a lower low. The market's pulled back. We go down and make another lower low. So that, they don't understand that the most volume's been carried out here. So likely we're going to range, but then they would short here. Stop above here, and then this gives the larger firms the liquidity to buy it up, and then they can start flipping when price gets up here, and then they ride it back into the range. Do you know what I mean? I suppose this is the thing. Everyone looks at the market slightly differently, right? Yeah, I think the Futex guys. I think I can't remember the guy's names. Alex, the big tall dude. That's the that's basically the owner, I think, of Axia. I think he was with Futex, or was maybe one of the lead traders. And I don't know, you guys know that see uh, the guy that was done with the flash crash from England. Someone know his name? You guys can maybe comment it. I can't remember the dude from Hounslow in England. Um, he just to basically trade at Futex. I don't know if that caused a big fallout, but I think there was a little bit of money missing and stuff, and they basically went under just due to misappropriation of funds, and then they started up. I think the key dudes from there, the Brannigan guy, the bald dude now with Axia, I think a lot of them came across from Futex, if I'm honest with you. But they're probably from what I've seen, one of the better futures prop desks. There, I think they go a little bit overboard with the screens, but no one needs fucking 8 screens, man. Jesus Christ. And they're really far away from it as well. Oh, he does. I quite like that guy. He's quite a. I was he like New Zealand or Australian or something with his accent. That's it, Nav. Yeah, yeah. So he was based in England. Yeah. Ah, right. Okay. I'm miles away. Nice one, Jack. Yeah, exactly. I years ago I watched all his stuff with the ladders. Quite a soothing chap. You know, for sure. They're the first guys that come on the scene with proper dom trading. To be honest with you, good bunch. I think there's actually if he's in the chat, there's one of our members, Dean. He's actually about to take the Axia program. I think it's in a couple of months. It would be good to get his feedback. John Grady. Yeah, John's stuff is good. Um, I think he's pretty much treasuries. I think he's now into equities from what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the down is with them if you're actually trading their money or what the script is. To be honest with you, typically how it works with these firms is when you go to them, you need to put down a wedge. Uh, they put some capital in with you, give you the risk managers, give you the environment, kind of educate you along the way. One of the main advantages to being in there is you're with experienced, like-minded traders. So you just hear them saying, hey buddy, there's a 2K lot on the Bund or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm just spitballing here. But you've got that office environment. You don't get that when you're trading at home. You know what I mean? You don't get that. So you need to be really aware. You need to be patient. But these dudes, when you go in, you typically put down a wedge of money. They'll back you with capital as well. You'll kind of have a kind of split in there, and you'll have the sort of office environment as well with some risk managers. That's typically how it would work. The other dude that's pretty good was based in London is the guy Tom Dante. He's from the prop business as well. I mean, these guys have been around for years, man. Years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Any trader worth their salt is going to be using some form of order flow, right? It's not due to the fact that it's superior. It's just um it's how the market moves. That's just simply it. If you and the reason why, which is it's just my very simple opinion on it. If you were a large firm and you had thousands of contracts to execute, right? You need to know where all the execution has been. If you look at a chart, you've got absolutely no idea. I mean, none. You don't know where fair value is. You don't know where can I get 5,000 contracts off in this. Do you know? Because if you're looking to buy and hold, you're not really giving a shit if you maybe want to try and get as close to VWAP as possible or as close to a price. So if you need to execute thousands of the things, you need to try and do it at areas where you can get them off. And you're only going to do that by watching a depth of market where there's size coming in. Do you know? So that's why it makes sense. Yeah, I can see the message. Yep, I can see it. Let me go back. What have I missed here? Let's see. We'll clear this and recenter. Oh, okay. I'm surprised they don't shadow ban me in general. Yeah, I'll need to check out that Brannigan dude, see what he's actually doing, to be honest. Yeah, exactly, Neil. And that's the thing is you need to use order flow on its own. Again, is just a tool. You need to already have your areas to do business that you think is an area where it's likely to reverse or it's likely to break out or whatever it may be. You know, just because you can see orders come in doesn't put you a massive advantage. You need to be because majority of the stuff is just not tradable because the bid gets pulled, it gets down 3 4 ticks, then the offer gets pulled. There's nothing really happening. There's not really any massive amount of trading here. It's just bouncing around because the bid and offer is pretty weak. You know, yesterday if you notice we had this at pretty much every price, whereas like 5 and 6 ticks right now you've got like 60 70 bid. So it's very easy for the market to move. They just need to pull some orders, and before you know it, you're at the floor. Yeah, 100%, Jack. 100%. I mean, Citadel trades something like half a billion a day. Sorry, no, 476 billion. I think it's exact, not half a billion. They trade ridiculous amounts of volume in and out. I mean, collectively, probably the top 4 and 5 firms are doing the majority of volume in the markets. Because the thing to consider, right, is they're there to make a market. They're literally incentivized to keep the market sufficient. They either get really good margin from the exchanges, and they get really really low commissions, and they'll have tons of different programs running. They'll have a bid to ask program. They'll have something that's hedging off their exposure. They can then flip their orders. We've got absolutely no idea. There's no way that we can do that. The only way you're going to know who it is if you physically saw the person press the button or you were chatting to them. Yeah, retail speculation is absolutely nothing in the market. It makes up I mean, yeah, it's just such a little volume, especially when you go into treasuries. Treasuries is pretty much just done by large firms and banks. I mean, these guys are probably executing a day what you would, you know, or probably executing 10 minutes what you'd execute in your lifetime. To be honest, it's crazy. Yeah, at best, Neil, at best. Yeah, that's about the numbers I would say, Neil. You have the main market making firms that are basically there to create the market, and what that actually means, just so we're on the same page here, right? They have to take the other side, right? So whether they like it or not, if someone comes in and buys 500 at retail, they have to take the other side, for example. Now they don't need to take it on the other side across that one price, but they can take it across multiple prices, right? And what they'll instantly be doing with their algorithms is they'll then instantly go and hedge that off, on options or an underlying or whatever the case is. So once they're hedged off, then they're flat, right? And then they can start working around your position, because for example, um, if you've ever watched anything about market making firms, if you go in right now and you buy 50, I don't know, just say a number, 50 contracts, They don't need to do anything because it probably doesn't even affect their book. But if you were to go in and buy 5,000, then they may need to hedge off exposure, and that may or may not make them net long or net short. But they have to take the other side. That's the difference. Good question, AO. So yes, I use Heikin candles just simply. So I just press the mute button. Use Heikin just simply to move the some of the noise away from traditional candles. You know what's funny? ICT and their guys say that firms are hunting their tooth. I know, I know. How crazy is that? That he said, "Oh, I've taken a long. Geez, oh, they're hunting my stops." As if like Citadel or Barclays Trading Desk are like, right, guys, ICT's bought 2 contracts, dump it. Do you know what I mean? It's just absolutely ludicrous behaviour. You know, it's fairy tale land. It's a fugazi. uh, yeah. So basically, MBO data just shows you the size it's in one clip, one order. So what one of the reasons that I utilize it is it allows me to just gauge where actual some size is. Now it can be moved continuously. Um, like you see in the Dow right now, that 20 law is continuously moving. That to me may not be real because there's no danger that's a real order because it's clearly set by an algorithm because it's bouncing around constantly, right? However, when the fact that I've got it set as a minimum of 50, not one of these orders in this whole book here is greater than 50. So that means it's tons of small orders populated by firms, right? So that means that if some real size starts to come in, they will pull the bid and pull the offer. I mean, the bid and offer is really light at the moment on ES, but that's mainly why I use MBO data. Would I front run MBO data? Absolutely not. It gives you an idea into spoofing. Allows you to see what actual size can be because if it's not pulled and it gets to there, the chances of there being more size behind that order is quite a lot. And it can also mean there was a stream I think last week where just before all the volume came in, a firm placed like I think it was 100, 100. They stacked like 15 ticks with 100, and then when the volume come up, the price went aggressively lifting into the offer right into the prices. It can give you an idea where the market is ultimately going. Because right now there is no real orders in here per se. You know, these could be pulled at any given time. It's typically how I would look at it. It's no, it's not. It's not possible to see stop orders at all. That's why my opinion on Bookmap is that it's just a best guess. Stop orders are broker side and server side for basically trading integrity. Um, they can be spotted on the DOM though, but you need to have an eye for it. And essentially, what stops looks like it'll just sweep and blip through price. So when you hit a high, if you want to rewind the stream, where was it? Up here, if I remember correctly. So when the market got up here, and basically the buyers were lifting into the offer here, you saw a sweep of price. So it's just stops been triggered, right? Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. But the thing is, Retail think that's the case because if they buy here, right, they buy down here, the stop's here. If they sell here, the stop's here. The market is either going to here or here. You know what I mean? That's the next obvious inflection point is we're going to go here or we're going to go here. And typically, due to the time of day, if we do get up here, we'll likely ram it, and then there'll be stops triggered up here, and that gives the buyers who were buying the firms, that gives them the liquidity to get out of their positions. And then once they're then out of their positions, they can then just start feathering into the bid and then take it back down. And then it's just that's how the market moves all the time. You know, it's just happened here, but I've done it. Then reversed, it's just happened here, how they've done it. You know, they do it in micro ranges all day. They did it here, then back. You know, if you look at a chart and you look at the amount of times an obvious inflection point or many high and low is put in the chart, the market goes up, sweeps it, then reverts back. It's all the time. It's because if you get a textbook and you start trading, that's the first thing you're told. Oh, you buy and then you put it in the next obvious position. You know, my counter to this is, why do you not wait and see until the order is actually swept and then trade with them back into the range? You know, once they're out of their positions. That's generally what my overall strategy for indices is. Yeah, that word gives me the heave now, sadly. You know, it's a really good word for actually order flow, but liquidity grab, you know, it makes me a little bit sick. Or buy side premium or buy nonsense. Honestly. I mean, well done to the guy for basically selling the dreams, right? Hello, Avi, my boy. How's it going? Nice to see you, buddy. Level three is actually MBO. Well, as far as I'm aware. Okay, really good question, Pippa. So, if I was to come to the charts right now, right, I would say, okay, we are in a huge bell curve. This is balance. So, there needs to be World War Three needs to happen in order for us to essentially go way above here or way down here, right? And the further we get away from the distribute bell curve, then the more likely we are on that day type to go back to it, right? Hence why when you go up here, it's back here, down here, it's back here, you know. And then down, I use Heiken Ashi just to really, you know, if I'm not paying attention, I can, you know, quickly just draw a line here and see, okay, right, there's going to be some stops triggered up here, which is when you started the stream, if you want to rewind it. I said, look, okay, the market's going to go up here. We're more than likely with the day type going to sweep this high. We'll drive it, then we'll see some absorption, and the market will come back down. And we did. And then we did the exact same thing down here. But this is all to do with the day type, right? If we have a day like this, where the market's just going straight up, you're not doing this type of behavior, right? You're not looking to fade this back into value because the market didn't do anything like that. It just went in a straight line. You with me? So once you've got your rough ideas of where you're looking to do business, right? You then move over to voila, the DOM. Right, now get into your level. You need to get off your chair or sit up in your chair and you need to start paying attention, right? So you need to start seeing absorption, you need to start seeing how's the delta looking, how are things flowing in the market, where are the other indices at, you know, is if we're at the highs up here, how is NQ looking, how is the Russell and the Dow, you know, are they all ticking up at the same time, what generally is happening, right? And if you start seeing absorption or the likes of the Dow ticking down, while ES is at the highs, then you need to think to yourself, well, this generally for a move to be sustained, you normally want to see all indices moving in tandem with each other, as an example. And that's pretty much it. And a lot of that comes with screen time to anticipate market orders and to anticipate what kind of day you're going to have. And normally you've got an idea within the first probably 2 hours of the regular trading hours what kind of session you're going to have. Late finish, Avi. Hopefully you had a good week though, mate. MBO, it's basically market by order data. So what it shows you is at this price there is a 50 lot, 150 lot in this price. So all of these other orders are just tiny orders, which means they can be pulled at any time, same as here. There is no, out of all of these prices, there is not one order greater than 50. So all these 155, 118, 121, none of these are real. So the market will just bounce around here. All it takes, we'll clear this. So what I mean by that is when there's not really any size, there doesn't really need to be a lot that's going to be traded in order for price to move. So the bid's just been pulled right now. We're going to get to this order and see if they actually take it. The first time it hits it, it normally will bounce back off it like it's doing. So we'll see if they take the full 50. Okay? So they do. And then you notice that once it goes down, you then normally have a tick back up. This is the standard order flow of ES. It'll take this, then it ticks up 3-4 ticks, then you'll see the bid pulled. This is shocking price action at this time. We've got volume that's going to come in the next 9 minutes where hopefully it's a little bit more entertaining. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Goose. Well, let me know if you guys have got any other questions. And then I think NQ I have it is 20 minimum, and the same for the Dow and the Russell, just because the markets are thinner. What is your favourite dish? Food wise, I like seafood and steak. Lobster, oysters, and another side probably a steak. Some nice wine. That would be my choice. If you're referring to food, you Jigsaw doesn't have MBO data, Pippa. Yeah, exactly. I think the older I'm getting, um, the older. I mean, I just prefer sea. Actually, I think to be honest, I feel better after seafood and white wine. I think I feel slightly more relaxed. It's not as heavy to digest as well. Yeah, I've never actually read that blog post, but I'd imagine it's probably to do with they'll say that it can be pulled and manipulated or whatever the case is. I mean, to be honest, when the price is really close and they start flashing 400 lots and stuff, they're normally pulled quite a lot. But I use them really to set the range. So like I can see that the market can go here or here pretty much. If the market gets to one of these sides, you can see that they're just constantly setting the range here, for example. They're constantly moving around. Yeah, it'd be good to read that actually, but I'd imagine it's going to say something along those lines. There'll be something probably. I don't know if it was. I don't know what the deal is, but it'd be good to read it to see if there's a logical reason why they haven't done it. Okay, we've got 5 minutes till the volume comes in. If you guys could hit the like button for me, that would be much appreciated. And hopefully, if you're finding enough value from the streams and have maybe improved your perception in trading, if you consider supporting the channel. Also, you can join the Discord we have. There's a link in the bio of the channel where you can join. I know a lot of you peeps are already hardcore Discord members. I just do it to try and. I mean, trading. Oh, the size is coming now. The trading it's a lonely endeavor, right? And I'm sick of seeing so much nonsense on YouTube. To be honest with you, I mean, it's full of absolute guff. You know, it's full of people um, basically now just punting affiliate links into prop firms. It's full of people just making out that it's so easy to trade and they make a fortune and so on and so forth. So I wanted to change people's perspective and try and shorten people's learning curve and build a trading community. To be honest, give people a sort of fair chance. Because if you're starting and you're only using candles, my opinion is you'll probably within 6 months either lose your shirt or just give up. I would say how Bookmap is used. I'm really not a major fan of Bookmap. I think you would really need to control the thresholds on it, because it's basically just a best guess. They call buy stops and sell stops. When it could just be a sweep. They've got no idea that that stops. Maybe the only thing I can see it maybe even slightly useful for is maybe an iceberg indicator, but you need to make it an awful size, and Bookmap's really overpriced for what it is, if I'm honest with you, man. So yes, Pippa, there's a video in the description of this video, and it's called How to Read the DOM. I don't think I couldn't honestly tell you. I think they must do if they have to have MBO in the DOM because their heat map relies on MBO data. Hi John, hope you're well, buddy. Sickle, what makes you say that you despise prop firms? I mean, I think I understand why, but what's your opinion? I think it's the fact, I don't know, there's a couple of new streamers I've watched where they're just absolutely degenning into prop firms and then punting. It's just a referral. There's no trading about it. They're just literally closing their eyes, pressing buy and sell, and going in full port max contracts, and this can go here potentially. Let's see if we can crack 56. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, bond, jeez. Well, the thing is, Pippa, I would say that Jigsaw is probably better out the box. If you really want to, there's a couple of things that Jigsaw does well over Sierra. Um, but I've used Sierra for a long time. There we go. We just took that price. There we go. The volume's coming in. Let me clear the DOMs so we can see the volume. Yeah, we have 15 minutes of flow to happen. Yeah, I think I need to do that, to be honest. I've got it set to clear them individually, like this. I think there's a clear all symbols button. I'll need to do that. I've just never. I've had the clear individual for a long time. It would probably make sense to just change that to all symbols instead of the individual DOM. Yep, Pippa, I have the template. I can, if you go into Discord, we can sort you out. We can I don't know if what, it depends what markets you want to trade. If you want to trade indices, we can send that to you. No problem. So this 300, right? It's decent size. Let's see if this will be pulled or not. Let me know if anyone's getting our questions. It's good to see some new faces or names in the chat this evening. Oh, I missed it. Was that 400 pulled there? Did anyone catch that? It looks like it was. If you guys have not yet liked the stream for me, if you could do so. Right, let's see. Are we going to sweep here? Let's see what we're going to do. The next two obvious points, as we said earlier, is going to be here and here. I don't think the market's going to get up here, so let's erase that. So, next, I would say 10 minutes. Are we going to reverse? If we can crack 55 and a quarter here, then we potentially can break below this sort of 52s. But yeah, answers on a postcard. This next 10 minutes, I'm hoping gonna move. With a lot of positions that will need to be closed. Hey Jimmy boy. I would probably start with The Bund. If you want to trade on Eurex, go the Bund, mate. The ticker's FGBL, or maybe look at cable, or the FTSE or Eurostox. FTSE, Eurostox, cable, or the Bund. That would be my option. I'm not going to recommend a DAX because it's wild. 100% DOM's better than Footprint, in my opinion. Footprint only shows you market orders. At a glance, you're just going to see imbalances. Um, yeah, yeah. I feel like there's just a lot of numbers there for not a lot of gain. To be honest, that's just my opinion. I think once you get proficient at the depth of market and know how to read it at the key levels you're looking to do business, the depth of market has everything there. It has the resting orders, it has market orders, has volume profile. You can put on delta like you can see on uh, on ES here. So you pretty much have everything there. It's in the bio of the channel, Pippa. If you go onto the channel and then click on the about us or the read more part, the links, it's links in there. It's a never expiring link, so it should take you in. Well, welcome to the dark side, Jimmy boy. Welcome to the dark side, my man. Yeah, I mean it's trying right now. I mean I'm hoping um the yesterday close was so uneventful. I would like to think we at least do something here, right? But yeah, check out the playlist, Jimmy, for OrderFlow if you're new. There's a lot of stuff in there. If you work your way through the series on there, we've got a lot of different parts, things like correlations, which market should you trade, how what are sweeps and absorptions, how to trade and execute order flow. We're trying to build up a playlist that is in somewhat sequence and order for new traders and to give people an introduction into order flow. And you have the guys bear in mind that I, as you can see, have literally zero editing, to be honest. So I'm just doing this with my experience. Maybe once upon a time I'll look into editing and stuff, but it's just trading's a passion, not trading's a passion that I've had for many years. Editing is not. I'm not an admin person, to be honest. Not that editing is admin, but you know what I mean. It's not my thing. So you guys have to bear with me with the videos, to be honest. It's trying to put valuable content without it, having tons of cuts and random memes and stuff in the middle. I'm just trying to give valuable content you know, instead of it being something that's extremely well edited. I suppose it would be nice to do both, right? But okay, a couple of minutes until we see some action. Yeah, no problem, no problem. I'm going to put out some more videos this weekend. So I need to, if you go onto the video roadmap on the Discord, let me know, give me some ideas. Um, as to what you would like me to cover. I'm trying to get an idea if people can. Right, let me clear these because the order's about to go crazy in the next memento. So, right, are we going to fill here 62s where these are printed, or are we going to fill here? Yep, they're going to fill here. So they did this last time, they just printed all of this. Let's see if they're going to go up and fill all these orders up here. Wow, they're not. Not so far yet. Let's see. Of course. Look at this. This is madness. Oh, is that and that's the one in the link in the channel, uh, Pippa. So you took that full 300 as well. This is going lower at the minute, and then they've just pulled their orders up there. Sneaky. Looks to be uneventful. Can you guys share the Discord link? Is that set up for you guys to be able to go and share the link? Can someone provide Pippa the link to the Discord? If you go to if you click on the channel, Pippa, and you go into about the part where it says like I've been trading for 9 years, that part. Click on more or something, and there's the Discord link there. There should also be a link there to the coffee as well. If you click on the channel, it's right in the description of the channel. If you click on one more link and then it says that the Discord link, I'll just copy it. You got it. Sweet. Okay, come on. I don't think I think we've got. This is not going to do anything. Looks like we're potentially just going to range here, bros and broettes. I mean, the Dow and the Russell are wanting to go down right now, but the volume's about to die out in 2 minutes. If you do smash this here, though, there's going to be some stops triggered below 52s. It's just not enough. It's not enough oomph, is there? See, the bid and offer is now pretty thick as well. Thanks for the support, Goose. Much appreciated for joining the coffee gang, buddy. You give a shout out to the team. There's John, Dean, Avi. Goose has joined. We have a number of members in there. I'll need to put that in some of our videos as well. I really appreciate the support. if I missed any of your names, guys. Yep, we have Daniel, Timo, Nico, we have Avi. So thank you all very much for the support, everyone. Much appreciated. And for everyone that watches all the videos and continually is in the streams. It's much appreciated. I'll ping them to you after the. I'll ping them. Does anyone have my chart book? Can someone pop it in the Discord if they can? If not, I'll need to send it to you after. This is called. In fact, do you have Sierra chart set up, Pippa? Because you need data and everything. Do you have like rhythmic level 2? You know, you need to have all of that. You need to have level 2 data with your provider and stuff, whoever your data is, if it's via rhythmic or Denali. But I can send it to you after the stream, and you can have the same charts up when we're discussing things. So the market's looking like it's want to go lower at the moment, but I just can't really see it. I mean, below 52s there is some stops. Just seems an unlikely time to drive it, to be honest with you. But you never know. But has this stream been much better, everyone, with the lower latency? So that you guys are not as far behind? Is it an improvement for everyone? Is it nicer to be, you know, is it easier to engage when the streams like this? Thank you, Neil. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Hope you have a great weekend, man. And we'll catch you again on Monday if you're in the stream. Don't do anything I wouldn't do at the weekend. No shenanigans. Great, Pippa. I'm glad you found some value in it, man. That is the main thing. That's why I'm here. If I can shorten someone's learning curve and make their life a bit easier so they don't need to spend years hitting their head against the wall, then my job has been a success. Yeah, as expected. I highly doubt we're going to drive the low here at this time. Most likely scenario is we're just going to go back to probably 60s to end the session, but and considering the Dow and the Russell have worked their way, the Russell's worked its way back up to the POC. Seems quite unlikely we're going to crack the low anymore. Yeah, trader, good question. So The negative, so I've got it set up if it's on the offer side and it's blue, says -5 here, it's been pulled, which is good for the buyers. Um, and then the blue on the bid side is stacking for the bid. Here you can see here 18's pulled. You know, hopefully that makes sense. I just to have it where one of our subscribers, I think it's SP. I used to have the bids pulling and stacking here and the ask pulling and stacking, but then I now put it in a combined, and it's just easier on your eyes, so that you're when you're watching a DOM for the main market that you're trading, you know, it's right in your zone, to be honest. And I only really have it for like 3 and 4 prices, to be honest with you, because like when price gets up here, it'll massively change. It just allows you to see if the bid has been pulled. Like right now, it's been slightly stacked. If they hit into this and then see if this 96 is pulled, so it's staying firm at the minute, and they're actually adding to it. So they've effectively held that price at 52.5. Actually, a bit of two-way here. So we are coming to 52. Is if we do crack here, let me draw a line here. It is roughly 52s, right? 51.5 is the exact level. I just can't see us breaking it. I would like to see us breaking it for a good talking point, but so we need to really break this area here with some size, and then we'll maybe go down to 50s, and then revert back into the range. We'll see if we get one last sweep to end the session. You have it separated. Yeah, I mean, every which way, man. It's sometimes it can actually be easier to separate it. Depends how your brain works, you know. But yeah, the negative numbers, like here, you can see everything's been pulled, but you really need to focus on like the two recent prices, and you'll see if it's been added or not, and plus when the orders are aggregating. Make sure that you've got your DOM configured correctly, so that when your recent change of the bid and ask for the current traded bid and ask volume, so when it changes, so see how it's aggregating here, and then it hits and aggregates here, and if it hits here and then aggregates, right? When price bumps away from here, and if it's away for 2.5 seconds, you want these numbers to refresh, right? So they've just seen 159 has been traded in there, it's then ticked down, and the order was then pulled. Okay, so when price gets back up to this 159, see how that's now changed, right? So the difference in those numbers, they then added onto the volume profile and the delta. So you need to, it's really taxing to watch the DOM, but this is why you need to do it at your key levels, because when you really focus in, you need to be watching what's been pulled, what's been added, what's been hitting into the price, has price been refreshed, what's happening in the other markets. You need to start with one depth of market so you get proficient, and then you can add in others, you know, because indices or correlations are really important for indices. You know, they need to all be moving in tandem. So as an example, right now we're seeing these tick down, right? Which is giving this a potential a little bit more likelihood that we can break here. But again, I'm pretty skeptical considering it's the time of day. We'll need a punch of size. We'll probably hit this 50 lot down here if this does even happen, and then we'll probably tick back up. But let's see how they do it. So we're right at this level. If they can hit in here with size, but most likely you're going to start to see absorption here on the bids, and then we'll just revert roughly back into 56, 60s potentially to end the session. So for ES, I have a heat map that I glance at, but I only use that for ES. And in treasuries, I have the same setup, but just for the 5, 10, and 30 year. Right, let's see if we can crack this here. This would be interesting. We need NQ. If NQ can go down to the 12s here, which is again unlikely. We'd like to see this punch through. If someone comes in and dumps here, this is going to snap through here, and then we'll probably hit 50s and reverse back. I want to see it for some action. Otherwise, I'd have already left the stream, to be honest. But we've got a potential last little bit of shenanigans to end the session. The Russell is trying. But you can see there's not really a ton of volume. It's more likely orders to be pulled to get down here, and then we'll maybe see a little mini cascade if anyone is trading still. But if you guys are new, if you'd consider subscribing, that would be much obliged. And I hope everyone had a great session. Yeah, we're not gonna break this now, that's for sure, considering they're flashing here. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be chilling in the Discord for a while. So if you've got any questions, we can catch up. They've just pulled that 100 lot. We can catch up in Discord. If you guys are watching any of the videos over the weekend, leave any comments. I'll make sure and get back to you. If you leave any comments as well, it helps out the channel a ton. But until then, guys, I will see you in the Monday stream, or we can chat on Discord over the weekend. But whatever you guys do, I hope you stay safe and have a great weekend. Peace, everyone. Take care.